Coach, I think KJ hit the shot with like 6 seconds left. I'm just wondering kind of what your immediate thought was and kind of what the plan was from that point.
Well, Shay, with 6 seconds left, you don't really have time to express to the team what your plan is. You just play.
Right.
So we're playing man to man, and we're going to switch 5, and they did it perfect and didn't let him shoot a 3. So yeah, that was really well done there at the end.
And have you had a chance to look at the block?
No, on what, Kevin's block?
Yeah.
No, I haven't had a chance to look at it. So, what else?
They mentioned that, the guys mentioned that you were thinking about calling timeout until the ball got to Juan's hands on game point. Was that just kind of a flow thing that they ran into?
No, if we had been down 1, I would have called timeout, I think, but the game was tied. So, you know, we were gonna get the last shot, although we probably scored too fast, so I thought broken 4, let them play, and the ball was in Juan's hands, and the pass he made to KJ under pressure was great. And of course, KJ made a great catch and finish. So there was two great plays by those two at the very end to put it up 2, but yeah, there was, you know, we're going to talk about late game situations. We can talk about how well we did that, then we can talk about how we didn't switch a slip, then we can talk about how we didn't protect the basket. You know, late game situations. Hey Jimmy, how you doing, man? Late game situations. This is how screwy basketball is. There's 0.3 on the clock. Okay, so it can only be a tip. So you put Ernest in, thinking it's only going to be a tip, and then there's 1.1, and you can't sub him out because you can't sub him after that late a period of time. So, and he's never defended that, and he let the ball go across the baseline, and not his fault. He's never done it. He was just in there to make sure to help throw off the lob pass, and when it was 0.3 the second time, he deflected it, and the game was over. So. Yeah, basketball's crazy. If you really get into intricate details, so much of it's just good fortune or bad fortune. And you know, we caught it. It took us a long time to catch a break today, but we got a couple there late.
One more thing on KJ. I imagine before the season you don't anticipate, you know, tie game late. He's going to be the guy that takes a shot. Just how much trust do you have in him right now, and what he's been able to do this last month or so?
Well, KJ's, you know, there's a lot of improved players out there. I don't know if there's anybody that's more improved than what he has, you know, since the end of last year to now. So, you know, we you know, strategically made a bad decision early on because of size difference, you know, trapping the post, and they played out of that. And you know, Boone and Cisse haven't been great assist guys, and then they were both great the first half, passing out the trap. So, and then we were slow, and then obviously Wright and Bryce got hot, and so there are some things that I wish we'd have done different to start, and that's all on us, the coaches. But the second half, you know, KJ included, that's about as turned up a good, solid man-to-man defense we played in a long time. We guys, they got 5 points the first 12 minutes. And they were both off offensive rebounds. I mean, we were turned up. And it's hard to, it's the exact same thing as a national championship game. You turn up, you tie it earlier than you could ever anticipate, and then it becomes a basketball game. And because you can't sustain that over 20 minutes. And then when it became a basketball game, you know, it was kind of like a fight, heavyweight fight. So fortunately, we got the last blow. They played great, though. Oklahoma State played great.
Bill, you mentioned the other day that the key to success in the Big 12 is holding serve at home. Do you have an appreciation for that for a game like this, or it's still way too early in the calendar to think about something like that?
Yeah, it's too early, but it puts you behind the 8 ball. Obviously, you can win the league by losing at home. I didn't mean that. Yeah. But it puts more pressure on you. You got to go win at a place maybe you're not favored to win, you know, for sure. Yeah, but that was a great win for us. You know, my team out there showed what we can do when we're turned up and play well. You know, to score 39 points on a great defensive team like Oklahoma State the second half and only have 1 turnover, you know, end up out rebound them. You know, the difference in turnover points the first half was 20-3. That's the ball game, you know, and they guard well, but you know, Kevin threw it to him 4 times without anybody even around him, and we gave away so many easy baskets, and then they took advantage of it. And then, but the second half, we played pretty sound. That was 2 good teams playing there.
What got it turned up? I mean, that first 5 minutes was suffocating.
I don't know that it's you know, I didn't get on. They tell you I didn't get on to him at halftime, and I said, oh, he screwed that up. So what are we going to do now? But that was just them. You know, Jalen need to lead. You know, this was a great initiation of a league play for Grady. You know, because they faced Garvey. You know, Avery Anderson, give him credit. He sacrificed everything to make sure Grady didn't have a good game today. I mean, that's a good teammate. And so we gotta be better in some certain areas. But that's how we're gonna have to win games in our league, guys. I mean, we're gonna hope that the games are like this because then hopefully we got enough experience we can make some plays late. But this league is a monster, and Oklahoma State, you know, we played other teams this year that are predicted to go to the tournament, and nobody can't tell me that Oklahoma State's as good or better than most of those teams we played.
You mentioned Grady. How big was it to see him get the 2 offensive rebounds that led to?
Oh yeah, that's the best he's rebounded the ball all year. He was great. He did a great job in that area. And you know, the only 2 shots he took or made the first half, those were low percentage shots. I mean, he did a great job just to make those 2 threes. In the second half, when they score every possession, you know, you can set your defense and it's hard to score against. When we're stopping them and controlling the defensive glass, now it becomes more open court plays, and Grady was able to get free a couple of times in the second half and just didn't make them pay because he was open there a few times and didn't make them pay. But it was a, you know, that was a tough game. We've had a lot of those. Georgia Tech on, you know, going way back, way down. I think we were down 17-2 to them, where we've had to come back like that. But that took every bit of energy we had.
You guys talked about it's not a 15 or 12 point play. When you're coming out and do a timeout, what's the message to you guys? You just want to win the next 4 or 5 minutes?
We said that to Shay 5 times tonight. Let's win the next 4 minutes. So, and I'm not sure we won them all, but I know we won the first 3 segments, and I think we may have won all 4 of them or all 5 of them. A lot of guys stepping up and making some plays, and then when we had them down 2, something like that, you know, that huge lead of 2, we kept stopping them, but we didn't take advantage of it on the other end when we had some goals.
Bill, you mentioned earlier the double into the post, and I know that's been good for you. I know you said, I think maybe a couple of weeks ago, that you were best once there was like a trap. Does this show you that you got your defense kind of has a couple different pitches?
Yeah. Now, as good as we were the second half, we were worse than that the first half. We were awful. But a lot of it was, I think, that we weren't quite turned up. If you're going to trap the post, you got to be turned up, and we weren't quite turned up. But what it did do, you know, the thing about Oklahoma State, it's not that Cisse and Boone are going to score a ton of points. Trapping the post keeps you out of foul trouble. Trapping the post makes, you know, non-passers be passers. There's a lot of things that trapping the post can do if you're good at it, and we weren't good at it today, and they did a great job passing out of it. So we were much better when we just played it straight.
You got Tech next. Kevin's going back to a place he's very familiar with. Is that stuff overrated? Do you have to talk about it with him at all? What do you expect out of that situation?
Well, yeah, we'll talk about it for sure. You know, but he saw firsthand how you're supposed to handle a situation like that when Juan went back to Columbia. So, but yeah, we'll talk about it. And Kevin, we hadn't talked about him, but the block and the 3 he makes after just missing a wide open one were huge. But yeah, we'll talk about that. You know, Tech's not the easiest team to prepare for, as you know, because they guard different than everybody else. Everybody tries to simulate what they do, but they can't. They guard different than everybody else. So You know, last year, the first time we played them, we stunk. Got beat, and then after we had a chance to see it once and then practice against it, we were a little bit better. So, you know, basically going down there on one day's practice, because we're not gonna be able to do anything tomorrow except talk about it. It'll be a really tough challenge for us.
Anything else, guys?